Hey guys, welcome back to episode 10 of Phaser Friday. Super stoked to be here with an awesome episode. But first, of course, we got to thank our episode 10 sponsors. That is Turf Wars Racing. Turf Wars Racing is a one-day grass drag racing event located in Cormorant, Minnesota. They race side-by-sides, quads, pit bikes, mini bikes, even lawnmowers. It's great for all ages. We get families, friends, and racers out. They typically do it the first Saturday of June, but they're also coming out with a winter turf wars this year. You can find it December 18th, 2021. It'll be at the Sherbrooke Turf, and we'll link more information below. So thank you, Turf Wars, for sponsoring this episode. And with that, I got to welcome in the craziest guest we've had, Jake Sherbrooke, one of my best friends. How are we doing, man?
Dude, thank you for having me. What's going on? This is perfect because we got obviously the winter one coming up in 5 weeks. So we get to, it'll be exciting to talk about as well. But thank you for having me, man. This is going to be a good time.
Dude, I can't wait to jump in to Turf Wars, like your business, you know, your career, and just like even our friendship too. I think I've had a lot of people request you as a guest, and so I'm really excited. Obviously, we knew this one was coming. So episode 10, you know, here we go. I mean, might as well jump right into telling people more about you and what you do and I guess who you are.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Like everyone's story, I never planned on doing this. It kind of started off as like a hobby or just fun, and it like naturally evolved into like a job. So, I graduated high school, was going to go to college, went to be an engineer. Me and all my friends, we started a YouTube channel, and one day it started making money, and people started quitting their jobs slowly. And we started like doing sweepstakes and stuff, and started giving stuff away. And like the first thing we gave away was like a dirt bike. And we're like, holy crap, we're giving away a dirt bike. Like, this is scary. And, it worked. We sold enough t-shirts, paid off the dirt bike, whatever. And it kind of just snowballed effect. Like the giveaways started getting cooler and cooler and cooler and bigger. And, it kind of eventually became big enough to where it could become everyone's full-time job. And obviously, like, I branched off, did my own thing, and like it just kind of worked out for everybody. So now I'm giving away like a slingshot and a Ranger, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, is like turn it into bigger items, like, west or east or wherever, these companies are giving away like trucks and like all these massive items. And there's not really a Midwest giveaway that's doing that kind of thing. And eventually that's kind of what I want to evolve to.
Man, that's so awesome. And when you say slingshot, are you talking about like the one where you like put a little marble in it and sling it?
No, yeah. So like a Polaris slingshot. Like, this is a full on, basically, I'd say car at this point. It's a two-seater, and you and your lady or whoever can go cruising down the street, and it's perfect for the summertime.
Oh man, I love it. So to back up a little bit, you're Minnesota born and raised, and I want you to talk a little bit more about where you grew up, and then maybe a little bit more about when people started noticing you. Like, what was that like, and when did that happen? Like, what year are we in?
Okay. So let's so anyways, so I'm from Cormorant. I went to school in Lake Park, and graduated 2016, and we started like YouTube in that summer, and like the third video ever, it kind of like blew up, it had like 25,000 views. We're like, oh, cool, it was sweet, whatever. And right.
We made it.
Made it. And I don't know if it was like a gas station. It was just somewhere super random. And someone just goes like, hey, you're that kid that was driving like the red go-kart. And I was like, oh, what's up? He's like, that was cool. And like, that was kind of that. And I just remember like, man, I have no idea who that kid was. And he like just saw me randomly on the internet. And like, that was there was like a stages of like kind of when it got weird. And I remember like the first time someone wanted me to like sign a t-shirt.
Right.
And, I was just sitting down eating dinner at like a I don't know, some restaurant. This little kid comes up and he's like, hey, watch your stuff. Can you sign my like t-shirt? And we didn't even sell merch at this point. And I was like, that kid just wanted me to ruin his t-shirt. I took a black Sharpie and scribbled all over it, and he thought it was awesome. You know, it's just like, that was that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So, now fast forwarding to today, when somebody, comes up and asks you that doesn't know, like, what do you do for a living? What do you tell them?
That's the funny part. So it depends who it is. And like, This is hilarious. To this day and age, I still don't know how to explain to, like, let's say I have like a girlfriend and I go to her family's house and they're like, hey, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I make videos and put them on the internet. They're like, oh, okay. So you're like
one of those guys.
Oh, yeah, one of those guys. You're like, I don't know. So like what I always tell people is like, it's basically like an entertainment and sweepstakes company, So like we promote our brand and we give away items to people that, I like giving stuff away that I could never have. So that's like kind of my thing is like, I buy stuff now that I always wish I could have as a kid and I want to give it away to someone else. So I would say it's along the lines of like entertainment, sweepstakes, and fun, Like it kind of has been the dream job, super blessed, like never thought I could continue to do this. I'm 23 now and like, I'm loving it.
Man, I think that's why we had so many requests to bring you on because, obviously you and I are like amazing friends and we're even business partners and we'll get into that with Turf Wars. But, I think people are just so fascinated with the actual business side of what you do and how it works. And so I'm really glad we could get you on here because obviously there's no walls to jump over or anything like that. It's just two friends talking. So, obviously really appreciate you being on. So I want to jump into a little bit about your life. And, I know you well enough to know that, you're crazy and I love it. And so like, what is the craziest thing you've ever done? Or what are some of like the craziest things that you do?
I will say like, as far as like, crazy. I think the craziest thing I did was like drop out of college and do this. Like easy as that sounds, but like, it was a leap for everyone to like, is this gonna work or not? And then as far as, but then there's like the filming side and everyone just thinks, like strap on a helmet and run it through a brick wall or whatever. But like my favorite memory is, jumping the jet ski over the road and stuff like that. That's a crazy moment. It's super highlight. But I don't know. I think it's super cool with all these milestones because as a kid, you have all these like dreams of stuff you want to do. And I mean, this kind of can go into Turf Wars, but you always want to like own a racing event or something. And one day me and Hunter got together, like, let's just do it. And we're like tossing this together and it worked and it's getting bigger. And then we're slowly realizing there's like the fun side of how to make it work. And then there's like this business side too. And that's where we kind of turned into a bunch of meatballs and we called up Luke Eggebraaten here and we're like, hey buddy, we love racing. We don't know anything else about anything else. What are we doing here?
Oh, dude, I love that. And obviously we got to talk about Turf Wars. So I mean, it's so funny because, you and Hunter started the business and you guys are the gearheads. You guys are the racers. And like you said, you guys are the meatballs. And it's crazy to me that I am like a smart one in this situation, because I consider myself a pretty big meatball and to be the one that's like the responsible one. I don't know how, but it happened. So to give, people listening some backstory, Jake and Hunter called me because I had been volunteering with Turf Wars, since it started and then just loving everything they did. And I just help out. And, I think at that time I did some of their social media too, but in 2019 on my birthday, I believe it was, they called me and basically asked me to be a partner in Turf Wars. And so of course I said yes. I couldn't have been more excited. And the friendship that we have as business partners, but also as just friends is incredible because we work really hard to make this a success, but we also like have a lot of fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's the perfect combination. I think people love to see that where we don't take ourselves too seriously. And, we have people sponsor us. We have volunteers help out. We have vendors come out, and it's really just a fun event. And like, we don't pretend to know everything. We don't do everything perfect. It's like, you know, what I'm doing with Phaser too. I don't say that we're we never do anything wrong. It's just being transparent, open, and honest out there is the best way to do it. It,
Right.
you know, helps with your attitude, I would say, and it just makes business a lot more fun. So, you know, being in business with you guys is awesome. And like you said, there's that really, really fun part. And then there's that business side where we're like, yeah, we gotta straighten some things out here.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's like, I don't know, I feel like you're creating your own dream job and destiny, you know, like we
Yeah.
take it super seriously because we want it to work. And the fun part about that is it's a ton of fun in the same time, you know, like
Totally.
we're literally making this event, like this dream event that we've always wanted. And it's crazy. Each year we're like, man, I'm nervous. I hope people show up. And it just keeps getting bigger, which is like the best part.
Keeps getting bigger. And you know, I want to bring this up too. You know, we just had a Turf Wars meeting the other night, and at the end, you know, you probably don't even know you said this, but at the end you're like, this is awesome, we should do this every week. And it's just one of those things where, you know, we're working after hours, we're putting in the hours at night or during our lunch breaks or whatever it is, but it's like, we love it. We're creating our dream job or our dream business, and you know, let's just keep going. And it's just such a fun thing to be a part of, and it's just entrepreneurship in itself, you know. So, and I do want to jump into kind of backtrack a little bit more about what you're doing right now and kind of how you started with the giveaways. I know you know, when you were with the C-Boys, you talked a little bit about the dirt bikes, but when you left the C-Boys, talk a little bit more about your first giveaway, you know, with your Mustang. And then, is there a business calculation there? Are you trying to make enough money, or is it just like, let's do it big, let's hope this works?
So as of now, there are, yes, like business calculated, like you know, you've got to figure it out. You gotta the amount of people that buy versus there's all that, you know, there's data, whatever. The Mustang, no, that was a Hail Mary swing in the park. We literally one day we're like, you know what? Let's just give away my car. I was in like a bunch of debt, and I was like, you know, let's just swing for the fences at this point. And that's what we did, and it just ended up working. Like I was either for like one last hurrah, like I'm either done, I'm going to work at McDonald's, or I'm going to continue to do this.
I mean, I remember that because, you know, and maybe this is a good time to talk a little bit about that journey to get there, because there's a lot that happened from when you started creating content, you know, in 2016, like you talked about, to then where you were when you ended up giving away your Mustang. So maybe talk a little bit about some of the bad things and the downs that you had with, you know, leaving the C-Boys. And then also in between there, a lot of people don't know about the manager situation. So I want to hear more about that.
So yeah, basically, let's see here. So basically when I left, like, you know, I just kind of wanted to do my own thing, and I had to figure out all of like basically the roles, because there were 7 of us over there, you know, and each person kind of had to do their own thing. There was designing the t-shirts, buying the merch, making the content, editing the videos. There was all this stuff, you know, and everyone kind of had their roles and part. And now I was like, all right, I'm on my own, and I got to figure this out. And I hired this guy or whatever, and you know, he was supposed to help me out with it. And long story short, I don't know what I can and can't talk about because I'm in a huge lawsuit with him right now. So I don't know what. It just didn't work out in like the long story short. Like I'll be coming about all that. I don't know what to say. Pat's laughing at me over there. But,
Pat, what's up, Pat?
Yeah, Pat's giggling, but it didn't work out. And so I teamed up with Pat, and he was like my knight in shining armor, you know? He took a lot of those roles under his belt. Some he was great at, the editing, the filming, all that stuff. And the other stuff was like the graphic design he wasn't too good at, you know, and he had to learn all that. And it was just kind of an overwhelming task because I'm like, all right, I got to figure all this stuff out again. And
Right.
it was kind of nice though, because I needed a challenge again in my life, you know, and I felt
Yeah.
like I kind of just went coasting, autopilot, and I had to kind of take my own reins. And that's kind of why I wanted to leave and just do my own thing.
Right.
And now we're having a blast with it. You know, we're creating our own brand. We're building it up. We're figuring out all these problems. You know, stuff has worked, stuff hasn't worked. And
Yep.
it's been a wild ride.
Definitely. And, I think that's really what the whole point of, that kind of question is like the ups and downs of the journey and like what you go through and what you learn. And like you said, there probably are things that we shouldn't be talking about, but like what you can focus on is like where you're at right now. And obviously, Pat is, what led you to Pat. I mean, he making a mess back there.
Yeah. Meatball
But
back there.
yeah, but it's just like, it's so cool to see, we're never going to always have it figured out. But I think even knowing that is important of like, hey, if we mess up, that's okay. Like, is there a way we can pivot? Can we be agile? Can we make decisions to change for the better? And, to see some of the things you've gone through and are still going through, but, it's like, I go through similar things as well. So it's just continuing to like battle through those and continuing to try and be the better person and come out on top too.
One thing I guess I've learned in the past, and like this is a great piece of advice, and I know I might be jumping the gun on this, but it totally ties into what you're talking about with. You can put as much work as you want into something and it'll never be like totally perfect. You just have to you have to do it and keep going because you're going to make mistakes. You can never like have everything lined up and it is never going to come out exactly how you want it every time. And, sometimes it might come out better, but like, you just have to not put it off and you just got to go and do it or else it'll never end up how you want it. And that's kind of for anything. I know it's very vague, but that's kind of what our problem was, is like, we were just always, we got this, and this, and this, and this. And we just were kind of staying stationary,
Right. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up too, because it makes me think of like this podcast, Phaser Friday, and, how much preparation you and I both did for this. And like, did we study these questions for 3 weeks or things like that? No, we just jumped on this call and we're like, let's just have a good business talk, or let's talk like we're friends and let's just see what comes of it. And I think that's where a lot of the creativity and content comes from, is just being authentic and letting it flow and letting it happen. And, don't worry so much about mistakes or, Pat dropping something in the background and things like that. That stuff happens.
When you read off the script, I feel like, I don't know, like not that people can see through it, but let's say we had like paper here and we're like, just talking, it's not as fun, and we're like, it's more genuine. And that's kind of what my whole lifestyle is about. Like, it's just everything's naturally happening, and I figured out that's works way better for me when everything's authentic.
Yeah, for sure. So, I want to talk a little bit more about, this is like more of a business podcast, and, you own a business. I mean, it seems weird to a lot of people, but, there's revenue and there's expenses. So if you could talk maybe a little bit about, what revenue streams there are, because some people may not see like, okay, you create videos, like, how do you get paid, or how do you make a living, and, what are expenses, things like that. So if you don't mind jumping into like, what are revenue streams that you see possible, and what do you have?
So basically, it's kind of crazy. And this goes back to like when people ask, what do you do for a job? How do you make money filming videos with your friends and put them on the internet? Like, it just seems like a fairy tale. Well, obviously, like, branding and sponsoring is one big one. Like, you'll have people reach out to you and like a hair loss product or some kind of gloves or anything. They're like, hey, talk about my, like, look at, like, like, talk about my stuff. And they'll be like, we'll give you X amount of dollars for this much time in your video. Mm-hmm. And they seem like it's worth it to them. And that's one stream of revenue. Another one is just YouTube ad revenue in general. You click on a YouTube video and Tide commercial comes up. Right. Well, every time that gets watched on your video, we get paid from that as well. And our third stream of revenue is obviously our giveaway company. We sell hats, t-shirts, all that stuff. We want to get into, I want to do top to bottom. I want to be able to have pants, underwear, socks. Like I want the whole works of it, you know, but that's another big one. It's like you have an item, all you got to do, buy a hat, well, you get entered. And we're always looking for more, but I'd say like those are the big three: is selling t-shirts, hats, etc., and branding, sponsorship deals, and ad revenue.
The merchandise business that you do and that, you know, I do and that other people do is incredible, because here you have people, you know, paying for, you know, you make a little bit on the actual purchase of a shirt or whatever. It's not much, but you make a little bit. And then also they're walking billboards, like wearing your brand, which is you normally have to pay somebody to do that. And then also you get the excitement of like this giveaway that you guys do, and that drives traffic as well. So it's like, it seems like it's a win-win-win for everybody. You know, if I jump on and buy $50 worth of stuff, I get, you know, however many entries to win this Polaris slingshot. It's like, I love the clothes anyway. I love the brand or whatever it is. Heck yeah, I'll do that. And to get a chance to win this, yeah, I'm in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps it fun too. You know, you got a reason to, like, if you want, it's a good way to support someone, and there's an incentive because, you know, you might get a return back.
Yeah. A Polaris slingshot, which is pretty awesome. So
a slingshot. Yeah. Dude, I've never won anything in my life, to be honest. When that guy got delivered the Mustang, I was super jealous. I'm like, I haven't won anything, like a gumball, nothing to that caliber.
Well, we'll get you something, I'm sure, someday.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, kind of lastly, I just want to touch a little bit more on, you know, turf wars and just kind of the dream that you see with turf wars. You know, we're coming into our, let's see, started in 2017, 18, 19, 2020 was gone. So this is we had our 4th year in the summer, and then, so we got winter turf wars. We just announced it. You know, we're doing sled racing, side by sides. It's going to be wild, but where do you see turf wars going? Is this like going to be a full-time thing? Are we going to go full-time turf wars, work 2 days a year? And
so what my dream, you know, every kid's dreamland, you know, we have like this secret piece of property, you know, that, you know about, no one knows about yet. We'll talk about it. But if we can get a permanent location and not only hold more than a one-day event, like a weekend event, not just that, but if we can hold multiple events a year, would be awesome, and turn it into like a point series. And instead of just drag racing, maybe you'll have oval track or flat track or like many different kinds. I basically want it to be just a compound of all kinds of racing, between circle track, oval track, whatever, drag racing, maybe rhythm section. I don't know. And like, could be water skip racing. Like, I just want it to be as like turf wars. Like, it's just the ultimate battle of any kind of racing, you know, whether maybe one day it's like off-road cars. Like, it's just, it is known as the race grounds is my ultimate goal. Like, wars, like it is a full-on war, like big prize money. Like, that is what I want it to be one day. Camping, band.
You know what the cool thing is about that is, you know, yes, it's a dream and it feels audacious, but look at what you and we're currently doing. I mean, we are putting on these events already. You know, this isn't a concept. This isn't a new idea. This is like, you know, going to be our 5th event, you know, coming up this winter. And it's like, it's really cool to see the brand growing and people coming out to these events, sponsors continuing to support us and saying like, hey, we've got your back. You put up our brand here. You know, we'll give you the money. We'll give you skid steer, you know, like whatever you need to make this event a success. We want to see it happen. And it just like pumps me up to have that support and to see that excitement from all you guys. And just, you know, I really want to make this happen. And like you said, it's just that dream of the turf wars and just like making that compound happen. Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of like it's like a kind of bittersweet, sad moment. Cause, you know, like turf wars, kind of originated from Sherbrooke Turf. It's at the turf.
Right.
And this might be the last race on the runway.
It could be, man.
It could be. We don't know for sure, but like if it is, I love, you know, I'm all about change. I'm all about expanding, growing bigger and better. But like it's our original stomping grounds, you know.
Yeah.
Like it was like our third event, I think, where it was just massive. And to see where we're coming now, it's like crazy to think about. Like 3 kids are looking for a piece of property because you're
wild
outgrowing this area. Now we're like, okay, we need to set up camping and more permanent location. That's what it's just going to be used for.
It's absolutely incredible. And so the year you were talking about was 2019, had way more people than we had anticipated, and 2 porta potties.
Yeah, 2. Oh man, we're not going to talk about that. That was
this show's PG.
Yeah. We'll just say when you open the door, it was eye level, or
Yeah, you couldn't sit to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
But oh man, I can't wait. Winter Turf Wars, December 18th. It's open to all ages. We have kids, adults, and we even have like an old timers class. So we'll get everyone out there, and it's just, we want it to be a local event, but we also have people travel from all over the US. We have people from Nevada, Michigan, you name it, Nebraska, New York. It's just people want to come and experience this, this event. And it's just so cool to see. And we have no ambition, or we are not slowing down. We're just going to keep going and keep growing this. And if that means we need a bigger piece of land to fit more people, I think that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. And the other thing I really want to get to people is like, do not be scared to come. If you want to come and race, come, because we have everywhere from very beginner to super expert riders, and you'll fit right in, and everyone is helping. It's family friendly, and everyone is there to have fun. Obviously we take it serious because we love racing, but if you're nervous, just come on out, join in, and get in with the fun.
Man, what a perfect ending. Hopefully that gets on the radio, because I couldn't have said it better myself. And hopefully we see tons of people out there. And wrapping up this interview, Jake, I appreciate everything. I appreciate your openness, your honesty, your friendship, your everything that you've provided to me. It's just been incredible. I'm excited to see you next. And obviously it'll be at Turf Wars. So can't wait to take that next step, and really make Turf Wars just what it deserves to be. But, on top of that too, just continuing to see your growth in your business, your brand, seeing what you guys are doing is really inspiring. And I'm sure, and I hope that people listening are inspired as well. So how can people listening, if they're not following along, how should they follow along with you? And where can they, contact you?
So if you want to check it out, obviously my YouTube channel is just Jake Sherbrooke, my name. Same as on Instagram. And if you want to check out the Turf Wars Racing side, it's official Turf Wars Racing. I kind of repost their stuff. They repost Mars. And don't do really Facebook. Yeah, you can check out Turf Wars Racing on there, and Jake Sherbrooke on there. I do have a fan page on there to keep you updated on all that stuff. So yeah, basically on all social media platforms, just my first name, last name. And my website is just shopbanginempire.com. We got all the giveaway stuff on there. So right now we're actually doing a either or giveaway. We're doing a brand new slingshot or a brand new 2021 Polaris Ranger 1000. So if you don't want the slingshot, you can take the Ranger instead. But you can check it out there. We got brand new merchandise, so it's pretty awesome.
Let's go. It's the best deal in town. We'll have everything linked below on our website. So you can check it out, phasermarketing.com, and you can just click on Phaser Friday. We'll also have this aired on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can get your podcasts. So here we go. If you want the full video, jump on YouTube or our website. Jake, I appreciate it again, man. I'll see you in a few weeks at Turf Wars.
Perfect. Thanks, buddy.
Let's go, man. See ya.
Later.